The Art of Observing, a journey into mindful awareness and the dissolution of the ego. The mind is like a vast, untamed wilderness, filled with endless thoughts and stories vying for attention. Much of our suffering comes from how we engage with these thoughts, by trying to control, suppress, or reshape them. But what if we adopted a radically different approach? What if we allowed the mind to wander freely, not resisting or reacting, but merely watching? This simple practice of becoming the observer offers a profound pathway to inner peace, freedom from the ego, and a clearer sense of being. In this video, we will explore how the practice of mindful observation, of watching thoughts without interference, can dissolve the ego and reveal the deeper truth of who we are. We'll also dive into practical techniques to help you integrate this awareness into your daily life. This journey isn't about escaping thoughts or battling the mind. It's about welcoming them, watching them, and ultimately allowing them to lose their grip. Our minds are constantly in motion. Thoughts arise without warning. Some are fleeting, while others loop endlessly. Often, we feel controlled by them, like leaves carried along by the current of a river. In truth, these thoughts are neither enemies nor allies. They are simply mental events, shaped by past experiences, emotions, and conditioning. The problem arises when we believe every thought that crosses our mind and react as if it were absolute truth. When left unchecked, thoughts can become masters, driving our emotions and behavior. But if we step back and simply observe, thoughts begin to lose their power. They thrive on our attention and reactions, but when we offer none, they become like old friends we stop entertaining, eventually drifting away. This practice of non-engagement is the foundation of mindful observation. Imagine watching clouds drift across the sky. You don't try to stop them or change their shape. You just let them pass. Observing your thoughts works the same way. When thoughts about illness, scarcity, or fear arise, the goal isn't to block them or turn away in frustration. Instead, allow them to come and simply notice them. Let the mind say whatever it wants without any resistance. At first, this may feel challenging. We are conditioned to engage with thoughts, either by entertaining them or trying to push them away. But as you practice being the observer, you'll find that thoughts lose their intensity. There is no need to resist the mind's chatter. Instead, welcome it. Say, "It's okay, mind. Do what you want." With time, the mind's need for control weakens, and so does the ego. Even as the observer, a subtle form of ego can remain. This quieter ego takes pride in being the one who is watching and may believe it is in control of the mind's dissolution. However, recognizing this subtle ego is an important step in deepening your practice. When you see the ego trying to control even the observing process, simply notice it too, without judgment. The goal is not to destroy the ego with force, but to dissolve it naturally by continuously observing it. Over time, the quieter, subtler aspects of the ego will unravel on their own. The process is similar to watching a fire burn out when no more fuel is added. The mind weakens without engagement, and eventually the ego begins to collapse under its own weight. Thoughts often feel like they have a life of their own, chaining one to another in endless loops. For example, a thought about work stress might trigger thoughts about financial insecurity, which then lead to thoughts about the future. This is the cycle that keeps us trapped. However, when we become aware of the observer watching these thoughts, we disrupt the cycle. Imagine witnessing a conversation between two friends, one thought telling the other what to do. Instead of getting involved, be the silent witness. Watch the entire dialogue unfold as if from a distance. The thoughts will naturally weaken when they receive no reaction. They lose their strength without the fuel of your engagement. Just as a conversation fades when one person stops responding. When troubling thoughts arise about illness, failure, or insecurity, catch them before they snowball. It's like noticing a spark before it becomes a fire. Simply observe the thought as it emerges without trying to suppress or analyze it. As you do this more often, you'll become skilled at catching yourself in the act of thinking. This awareness is effortless, requiring no force. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You may even find yourself laughing at the simplicity of it all. Each time you catch yourself observing, the realization grows stronger. You are the observer, not the thoughts. This clarity creates a sense of spaciousness, allowing the mind to settle and quiet down on its own. As you deepen your practice, a profound question arises. Who am I? The I appears to be the root of everything, the thoughts, emotions, and experiences that shape your reality. But what is this I? Is it a permanent self or merely a construct of the mind? When you inquire into the source of the I, a surprising truth emerges. It is an illusion, a concept created by the mind to maintain control. Each time you ask, "Who am I?" a space opens between the question and the answer. In that silence beyond thoughts and words lies the truth of your being. The answer is not in the words, but in the quiet presence that remains when the mind is still. The ego cannot survive under the light of consistent observation. As you rest more in the space of silence and inquiry, the need to defend or assert yourself diminishes. You no longer feel compelled to engage in arguments or explain your point of view. The ego begins to dissolve, leaving behind a profound stillness. In this stillness, you realize there is nothing to prove, no one to convince, and nothing to achieve. You find peace not by adding anything to yourself, but by letting go of the illusions you've carried. The dissolution of the ego reveals a deeper state of being, one that is free, light, and boundless. For those who enjoy meditation, here is a simple practice to integrate everything we've discussed. First, find a comfortable position. Sit or lie down somewhere quiet. Close your eyes and relax your body. Then focus on your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your breathing. Inhale and exhale without trying to control it. Now observe your thoughts and feelings. Practice a few minutes of Vipassana meditation by watching any thoughts or emotions that arise. Don't judge or engage, just notice. Now gently ask yourself, who is observing all of this? You can use the mantra, as you inhale, silently say, I. As you exhale, say, am. Continue this for a few minutes, letting your awareness rest in the space between each breath. This journey of mindful observation is not about escaping thoughts or eradicating the mind, but about seeing things as they are. As you learn to watch without judgment, the mind will naturally settle and the ego will lose its grip. In time, you'll find yourself resting in a deeper, more peaceful state of being. The path is beautifully simple. Watch your thoughts. Allow them to come and go. Ask, who am I? Rest in the silence that follows. There is nothing more to seek. Everything you need is already within you, waiting to be uncovered through the quiet act of observation.